Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. Today I am here for day 3 of my Advent project, so I'm just going to jump in. It looks a little odd today because I have flipped it upside down. Number 3 is up here at the very top, so in order for me to work on it a little bit easier, I have moved it to the bottom here. So I'm going to peel off number 3 and let me zoom you guys in and we will get started. So let me make sure it's in frame here so you guys can see it. And there we go. Let me start my timer because I do keep track of my time. Okay, I'm going to start with E since that seems to be the one there is the most of off the bat. So it's been a day. Things are going well so far. We'll see how much crazier the rest of December gets. But so far, going okay. I am trying to get projects done. So, because selfishly, I am trying to get as many projects done before the end of the year as I can. Just because I want to see how many projects I can get finished. Because because I'm competitive with myself, that's why. And I want to challenge myself to see how many I can get done this year so that I can see how many I can get done next year and see if I can beat that. I'm going to assume that I can just because a lot of my projects this year were kind of big projects, especially my Diana. So if you haven't seen that, I will put a link up there so you can go check her out. She turned out amazing, but yeah, took quite some time to get her finished. So yeah, time that I could have been, spent working on multiple other projects, which is fine. I wanted to do that project and I'm glad I did it, but and I have other big projects that I want to do next year too, but I'm hoping that I will have a little bit more free time to do diamond painting. We'll see how that works out for me. My husband and I are in the process of doing all the steps that we need to take in order to move to Canada, which is where he is from and where his family still lives. So we are in the process of doing that, which means that, crossing our fingers that everything kind of works out on the timeline that we think, then I will not be working at my job next year because we possibly will not be here. So we have been making plans to have someone else take over the position that I'm doing, take over the lesson planning. If I'm still here, I might sub, I might still help out, but I don't, once we get everything submitted, you're on the government's timeline and who knows. If there's one thing I've learned in dealing with all the stuff that we've done for my husband to move here and everything, government moves at its own pace and it doesn't matter what you do, nothing speeds them up. So, but anyway, so I may or may not have more time to work on diamond painting after next summer. We'll see. And so, yeah, first I have to get through this year, and I still have lots of things I need to do for this year, but I have been feeling so frazzled that I have gone back to my default help mechanism, and that is when I start to feel overwhelmed, I make myself a list. I am a list maker and a planner. I have a daily planner that I use daily. I have a budget planner that I use almost daily. And I just like to keep myself on track that way. Although I will say I do it on paper rather than digitally. I've considered getting a digital planner. I have an iPad and I take that with me a lot of places. It would be nice to just kind of have it there, but I like having the pen and paper. I like having the stickers and making it all pretty and all that kind of thing. So I basically will go out and find a bunch of patterns and pictures and things that I like, and then I will design my own kind of monthly set for my calendar planner, my daily planner. I really only use the month by month one pages. I don't use the daily pages, but yeah, I've done it for so many years. My life would be so crazy without it. It just helps me feel organized. Anyway, because I've been feeling so kind of disorganized lately, I have gone back to one of the tricks that I learned from someone was when I get overwhelmed like that, I write down 3 things I want to accomplish. I just moved that, sorry. 3 things that I want to accomplish for the day. They're not always the same 3 things. And if you're having a really, really hard time, those 3 things might be, 1, I got out of bed, 2, I took a shower, or 3, I brushed my teeth. I've had days like that. But this week I have been trying to write down, because I'm just kind of, I'm filming pretty much twice as often as normal because I'm doing these every day, which so far has been really fun and I'm enjoying it. But that means that I feel like I don't want to lose track of other things that I'm doing. So I made myself a list of 3 things that I wanted to get accomplished today. And this was one of them. So I'm doing this. So that's one. One of them was to mail out my Christmas cards, which I sort of got done. I did get several of them mailed out, and I got several of them mailed out to Canada, which will be good because it always takes forever for things to get there. But my husband is really bad about giving me addresses, and so I'm constantly having to ask him for addresses for family members, especially if we have some that have moved or whatever. So I have 5 or 6 of them that I have to wait for him to get addresses for me. And somewhere along the way, when I moved from my Windows PC to my Mac PC, I have lost my address labels that I use. I put them on the computer and I print out my Christmas address labels. And it's also a way for me to just kind of keep track of when I get updated addresses and things. And a couple of years ago, one of my great uncles passed away, and I had been sending Christmas cards to my aunt. I call her my aunt. She's technically my great aunt. But I was sending Christmas cards to her, and I got something back saying that she had been, she'd moved into a nursing home because her health is not great. And with my uncle gone, nobody there to kind of, for them to take care of each other. So, but she gave me her new address, which is great. And I put it on my sheet, but now I can't find my sheet. So I have to try and remember to get that from my sister so that I can mail that out. But I got the big chunk of them done today. I have like 5 or 6 left. So, but I got a big chunk of them, and they're actually in the post office, in the mailbox, hopefully being sorted as I'm speaking to get sent out. So I got those done. I paid our bills, which is always annoying. No one likes paying bills, do they? I mean, I like the satisfaction of knowing that we paid it, that we had the money to pay it, and that it's paid, but I don't like actually spending the money. We had to pay our property tax for our house. Our mortgage is set up so that we do all of that ourselves. We pay our own property tax and we pay our own house insurance. But we unfortunately live in one of the most expensive counties in our state, and the amount of property tax that we pay on this place is ridiculous. So, and it, of course, always goes up, never goes down. So it was almost $300 more this year than it was last year. So, which, you know, again, I'm grateful we had the money to pay it. And we used to, when we were still paying off a bunch of our debt, you know, we would pay off half at a time. We pay half in December, and then you can pay the other half in May. And the last couple of years, because we basically have paid off all of our debt, except for our house mortgage, so I was able to just write a check for the entire amount, which felt really good. So, where's D? Let me look on D. So, and then I had to pay our house payment. It's been interesting. My husband has been off. Well, he hasn't really gotten a complete weekly paycheck for the last month. He was off for a couple of weeks with his surgery, and then, you know, we had Thanksgiving, so they were off for the holidays. And my husband's job is one where he basically works as a contractor, so he gets no vacation time or time off or any of that. I mean, they get time off for the holidays, but they don't get paid. So he doesn't have to work, but there's no pay if he's not working. So it's kind of like being self-employed, but not really, because I mean, he gets a paycheck, they pay the taxes and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, he has an employer, but yeah, no vacation time, no sick leave. He just, you know, if he's sick, he stays home and he doesn't get paid. So, thankfully, you know, we knew his surgery was going to be coming up, and I knew that he would be off, so we were able to put some money aside to help us kind of weather that financial storm. So that was nice. Oops, and I just realized I missed one. Why is that? I put it away, and then suddenly I'm like, it's not like I didn't just look, but I didn't see it. Okay, let me do ends. And I was anxiously awaiting my mail today to see if I got my ornament, and it still was not in the mail. So I was irritated, and someone had suggested that I go check my Etsy, because sometimes, you know, even though Etsy tells you it's been delivered, if you go and check the tracking, it actually hasn't been. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go look. I didn't want to send anything to the seller, because I know that 9 times out of 10, it's not anything the seller has any control over. You know, all they can do is put it in the mail. And, you know, unless you want to pay extra for tracking, that's the chance you take. And so, actually, I don't even know if tracking was an option with this particular seller, but anyway. So I went into my Etsy shop, and I actually had ordered a couple of more things a couple of days ago. I have made my own planner covers before. I use the Happy Planner disc system for my planners, and I used to use the classic size, and then decided that didn't give me enough room to write. So now I use the big size, which is essentially 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. So that's the size my planner is now. And I don't carry it with me. My planner stays at my house, so it's okay with me if it's that big. And I just missed an R up there. But anyway, so I have extra covers and discs and things for the classic size that I don't really use. And so earlier this year, I decided that was what I was going to use to keep my diamond painting logbook. And so I make my own sheets for my logbook. So I print them out, and then, you know, I've kind of designed the information that I want to keep track of. I like to have a picture of whatever I've, kit I've done. So like if I'm doing Diamond Art Club, I'll use their sticker that's included. But for a lot of kits, smaller ones like these that don't include stuff like that, I'll make my own stickers and put them in my logbook. I keep track of my time, start, finish dates, all that kind of stuff. I was keeping it on also some of them on my Gems Flow app, but I just realized after we switched my phones that it did not transfer over my information, and if I put an account in there, I don't remember what it was, didn't write down the information and the password and all of that. So basically all of that information didn't transfer over, which is fine. I still have it in my actual pen and paper logbook, but so I just decided I wasn't going to redo it all in the new phone Gems Flow app because I just didn't feel like recreating it. I might start doing it next year and keeping it in the Gems Flow next year, but I probably won't. I like the Gems Flow app, but I just like having it on pen and paper kind of in front of me better. Okay, let me see here. Is all I have left M's? I think that's all I have left. So, is that all I've got? Yep, pretty sure that's all I've got. Okay. So, anyway, all this to say that I ordered a couple of, I have made my own covers, laminated covers for my planners, and I was debating making my own for next year's diamond painting logbook because I bought some heavier paper that I'm going to be printing out my diamond painting logbook sheets on, and then basically assembling my own logbook. And with the disc system, I can add pages as I need to. And this year, what I've done is I took the log pages that I designed, and then I basically taped them into extra pages that I had left over from my budget planner and things. But I want it to be a little more clean this next year in 2022. So I went out looking for somebody who on Etsy who was selling covers, the laminated front and back covers. And I found some that I really liked and I ordered them. So there's a point to this story, I promise. When I went back in and looked at those, I was like, oh, one of them has already shipped, one of the covers. So I was like, okay, I need to be on the lookout for that. And then as I'm looking at it, I realized that I made a mistake when I ordered it because I have a street address and I have a P.O. box. And for my personal things, I have them sent to my street address. Well, apparently I got so order happy that I wasn't paying any attention, and everything, my two covers that I ordered were going to be sent to my P.O. box, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It's just that I don't check it every day, and I don't normally have things sent to my P.O. box for that very reason when they're personal purchases. So I went and looked at my ornament, and sure enough, you guys, I did the same thing when I ordered my ornament, and it said it was delivered on the 29th, and it was delivered to my P.O. box. So since I had to go to the post office anyway today to mail my Christmas cards, I thought, I'm just going to go. I will go down there. Normally, I would just kind of drive through and toss them in the mailbox instead of actually going in. But I thought, okay, I will go and I will check my post office box and see if that's what happened. And I was a ding dong, and it got sent to my post office box. So I went and I mailed everything, and I went and checked my post office box, and sure enough, you guys, there was my box with my ornament sitting right there. waiting patiently for me to realize what a ding-dong I was so that I could go and pick it up. So I brought it home and I'm going to show it to you guys. It's so cute. I wanted something kind of fun and whimsical, but something that would also, you know, I know a lot of people, we do this ornament exchange, and in my family, we have always made a bunch of our ornaments. Like, I've mentioned before, my grandmother was big into ceramics, had her own kiln, that kind of thing. So we made our Christmas ornaments. We would get ceramic ornaments and paint them, and that's what we have always had on our tree. It wasn't until I was in junior high that I went to a friend's house, and her mom worked at an upscale clothing store, and they had this really fancy, you know, posh tree that was, you know, nothing homemade on it, all store-bought ornaments, everything matched, it had a color scheme, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's never been Christmas at my family's. Ever since I can remember, we had we had a plastic garland that had lifesavers on it that my mom had gotten somewhere. And our popcorn string was not real popcorn. It was styrofoam pieces, like packing pieces, that my mom had threaded onto basically like fishing line and made a popcorn garland out of it, because when we were little, my folks did not have a lot of money. My mom did not work because she stayed home. Well, she stayed home to take care of us kids and also to take care of her dad, who was ill, while my grandmother worked and my dad worked. And my dad went to school at night to get his college degree. And so we just didn't have a lot of money. Everything we had went either towards grandpa and, you know, his needs, or dad in school, basically. So mom made all of our clothes, we made our ornaments, etc., etc. Anyway, so we had ornaments that are like that. But I know lots of people don't have ornaments like that. So, okay, before I show you the ornament, I am done. Ta-da! This section actually ended up being a lot of black. So I'm going to turn this around. Let me zoom out so I don't make any of you sick. And then I'm going to turn this around so you can see, and then I'll show you the ornament. So there's day 1, day 2, and now we have day 3. Ooh, that's not quite enough for you guys to see all of it, is it? Okay. Is that better? Now you can see all of them. So, interesting colors. So, I'm liking how it's turning out so far. So, okay. So, there's the finish for day 3. And here is my cute ornament. I don't know who's going to get it, but I just thought it was so pretty. And it's a resin ornament, and it's got this little sea turtle, and then, you know, swimming kind of in these foamy waves and everything. I just thought it was so pretty. So, and it was relatively inexpensive, and I'm so happy I can't believe that, you guys. Thank you for telling me that I should check Etsy, because I'd probably still be waiting for it to show up at my house, and then I would eventually go check my P.O. box and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. So also, and now I need to remember to go check it for my covers that are coming. So that's it for today's Advent, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am. I have had lots of you ask where I get my little containers from, so I will put a link in the description below. I got them on Amazon, and I really like them. There's 35 in a set, 35 pots in a set, so it's nice for some of these kits where you've got, you know, quite a few colors, more than 28. So I'll put that in the description below so that you can check it out. As always, guys, if you like this video, before you leave, don't forget to do all of the things. Give it a thumbs up. That helps me a whole lot. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads like the rest of this advent calendar. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching.